Honesty, passion, experience. It's Timberwolves Explosion, hosted on the Paladino Live Network. And now, your host, Paladino Joey. Hello again, Timberwolves fans. Are you ready for the explosion of Timberwolves basketball? I am your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan. Timberwolves Explosion is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps, and I thank each and every one of you once and always for downloading and listening to this show. It's a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today. It's kind of an off and on rainy Saturday afternoon, thankfully not working, so we'll see how that changes in the next few weeks and months and all that good stuff, but we'll see. Lawn service, obviously, but then, this, new job that I'm starting at my current place of work. So, yes, I've been promoted to a production coordinator instead of just a, lead trainer. So it's like the next level. So that's a good thing. I've been kind of chasing that for a while. The hours may increase a bit. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be interesting. A little nervous coming in, but that's kind of how it goes. So enough of my personal news. Just thought I'd bring that up and thought I'd give you a bit of a summer catch-up here since it's still technically summer, like early September. Happy birthday to Marcus the Forecaster yesterday, September the 5th. So I'm not sure if he wants me to say his age or not, but, well, he's basically a year younger than I am. So, I mean, it's not that embarrassing. We are what we are. You know, we're aging. We're in our 40s. So, unfortunately, we were in our 20s when we started doing this all those years ago. And the computer's acting funny. Not sure what's going on with this C Windows thing. Anybody has an idea about that, but it keeps popping up. Anyhow, yes, catching up on some of the news and conversation going on with the Timberwolves during the course of the summer. Matthew Caldwell has signed a 10-year contract to be the CEO of the Minnesota Timberwolves and Lynx. He did a hell of a job with the Florida Panthers, the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. Things have been going well, a very respectable organization, as they might say in the National Hockey League. And I tend to just use that phrase anyway, no matter what podcast I'm doing, whether it's Brave the Wild or Timberwolves Explosion. But, it's like a Canadian accent of saying organization. But, did a great job with Florida. Obviously, Florida is, again, one of the most respected franchises in the NHL. For years, they kind of, were kind of close, this and that, and then all of a sudden they just broke through and became champions. Hopefully that's the Wolves coming up soon. So this was in late August. Minnesota Timberwolves and Lynx have named Matthew Caldwell as Chief Executive Officer of the organization, effective September 2nd. So that literally just happened here. In this role, Caldwell will oversee day-to-day business operations and high-level strategic initiatives for the Minnesota Timberwolves and Lynx. Yes, it's the Timberwolves and Lynx and the Iowa Wolves. So it's obviously three different possible franchises all kind of mixed together. Iowa, of course, is the what you'd call the equivalent of a AAA affiliate to the Timberwolves. The Lynx, of course, are the WNBA, and they are the favorites to win the WNBA championship. Hopefully they can finish it off this time. Last year they were like the second best team in the league and finished second, unfortunately. A 10-year commitment, which is crazy. They're saying, again, sets the stage. This is the Timberwolves statement basically here. It doesn't even show a name. It's the Timberwolves themselves saying this. This 10-year commitment sets the stage for the Timberwolves and Lynx to thrive well in the future by ensuring long-term continuity in leadership. Mark Laurie and Alex Rodriguez, yep, they are the owners 1,000%, are building a foundation for lasting success. Under Caldwell's leadership, the organization will cultivate a strong, consistent culture defined by ingenuity, stability, and growth. Caldwell's quote, that sounds like a podcast or something. I'm honored and humbled to join the Timberwolves and Lynx organization at such a pivotal moment in its history, and that's for sure. That's Matthew Caldwell, of course, says. I'm inspired by Mark and Alex's vision and passion for the Minnesota Timberwolves basketball, for Minnesota basketball, that is, and their commitment to excellence. I look forward to making my mark, like Mark Laurie, and, okay, I'm just kidding, making my mark across the organization and to building a lasting foundation that gives Minnesota basketball fans what they deserve, the best experience in sports, bar none. Just like the Florida Panthers fans got the best experience in sports, bar none, winning a championship. So, sounds like a plan and a plan stand. Sorry, I'm kind of stumbling all over myself, but just kind of in a playful way, you could say. Yeah, over a decade of sports management experience, mostly serving as president and CEO of the Florida Panthers for the past 9 years. Wow. Saw the Panthers achieve all their milestones, including consecutive cup titles. They're going for a three-peat this year. But I do believe the other Matthew Tkachuk, who's pretty important to the Florida Panthers, I believe he had to have some kind of significant surgery and all that. So it is what it is when you play late into the postseason and all that. But, yep, so your surgery would be later. I think he did not have surgery after some kind of strange injury after, what did they call it? Not that this is Brave the Wild or anything, but it's called the Four Nations tournament they had in hockey. It was a pretty fun experience, only to see a Canadian president at the time, Justin Trudeau, telling us that you cannot take our country and you can't take our country and you can't take our game when Canada emerged victorious over the U.S. I don't know, whatever. Matthew Tkachuk was on the U.S., of course, and yeah, anyhow, I'm getting way off track, and I apologize. So, continuing a quote here, our vision is for the Timberwolves and Lynx to set a new standard of excellence in pro sports, and we're confident that Matthew is the leader needed to make that reality, said co-chairman Lori, chairman, so it's both of them, Lori and Rodriguez, leading our organization to an innovative new era requires an exceptional individual at the helm, and Matthew's proven track record leading the business of the Florida Panthers is undeniable. We can't wait to see the remarkable impact his bold leadership will have on this organization. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to what Matthew Caldwell can do. So that's the business side of things. And I apologize for stumbling all over myself. I'm a little rusty, if you can't notice. I've done a couple of podcasts this summer, I've been going to have to get back in the grind with Purple Mafia. Did a kind of a catch-up episode at the very beginning of August. Did a Brave the Wild episode, I think, was it last weekend? Or 2 weekends ago? I think it was last weekend. Yeah, it was a kind of a short little thing because they just signed Marco Rossi. If you're interested in hockey, check out Brave the Wild. Purple Mafia, of course, for the Vikings, and then Timberwolves Explosion right here. The three oldest podcasts tenured, the three longest tenured podcasts in Minnesota right now are Purple Mafia, Timberwolves Explosion, and Brave the Wild. All three. Because they all kind of started around the same time. So this is the second oldest tenured podcast in Minnesota. I'm not kidding. That's wild. So I think I kind of stumbled around that last time. So I got to stop stumbling and being a little more, solid here. This is going to be a one-segment shot, by the way. The Timberwolves did ink Bones Highland to kind of be like the third point guard, the backup point guard, whatever the heck. But basically, a guy that probably deserves a bigger role than he's been getting in the NBA the last few years here. He's not a minor league player. He's a pro, and he deserves to be. He's a guy who can score 12 points a game and really go off in bursts. Him being Bones Highland, of course. Guy who's capable of running an offense kind of in a, Vinnie Johnson microwave type of a role. He can score definitely at will. He's definitely that, instant offense type of guy. Career three-point percentage of 36.4. Recently a 38.8 with the Clippers in 24-25 before signing with the Wolves. He hit half of his threes with us in just 4 games and averaging 4.25 minutes actually. Just kind of garbage time, unfortunately. And I think Bones Highland is more deserving of actual regular minutes in the NBA. I think he's a rotation-level point guard. So it's going to be interesting, of course. You have Mike Conley back. What is he going to be, 38? Eventually it's becoming malpractice having Mike Conley as a starter that plays anything more than 18 minutes a game, I think. So, and depending on your confidence in Bones Highland, I'd like to see Bones Highland have a legitimate starter type of role here pretty soon. I think Bones Highland provides some serious insurance here, particularly Conley may have some, at his age, load management. I'm not offended by load management with a 38-year-old guy who, could fall apart basically out there. We just don't want that. What did he not have wrist surgery last year when it would have helped in the last summer? I couldn't believe that. I was like, why? Why would you do that? I go, it's optional. You can't make him do it. I seriously would have been why? you come in with this awkward shot because your wrist is messed up because you didn't get it fixed. It's just, I don't know. I was kind of baffled by that. I think I may have annoyed some fans, and I believe I lost a few with my rant at the end of the last episode that I did when the Timberwolves drafted Johan Berenjay, who I think has a wonderful future in this league. A lot of people are extremely optimistic about him, and he's still like 18 years old. And of course, the Dunkaroo coming in from Australia at about 7'4". Wow, absolutely crazy there. I'm tired of hearing police sirens. All I need is a lemon and tomato juice right now to calm down, right? That'd be nice. But it's the afternoon. It's a Saturday afternoon. This ain't a Friday morning. Oh, lemon and tomato juice is going to come back, even if I have to go to work a little bit earlier with the new job coming up. So, but not that much earlier. I'll still be able to do podcasts. Just gotta get the frick going. That's all. No messing around. Bones Highland, though, how many years has he been in the league? 21, 22 up to today. So, good for him. He actually didn't have to deal with the COVID nonsense. Came right in with the Nuggets. That of course was Tim Connolly's team at the time. That's where the connection is. Just like getting a job, connections. 10 basically 10 points a game in 69 games. That's the career high, unfortunately, in the amount of games. The next year he played more minutes. I don't know what the deal was, if he was injured, but no, he got traded to the Clippers. Yep, part of a Clippers trade. Played about half a game, about 20, a little less than that. Kind of like in a rotation role with Denver and the Clippers his first 4 years or so in the league, more of a rotation role. 12 points a game with the Denver Nuggets in 22-23, averaging about 19 and a half minutes, 3 assists. Traded during that season, averaged 19 minutes basically and 10.8 points, so pretty much 11 points a game. 3-point percentage with Denver that year, though, was about 38. With Clippers, it was 31. The next year with the Clippers, it's just, its shot just went down the tubes. I don't know what the heck happened. 32.6, what the hell, only 7 points a game. His role diminished down to about 14 and a half minutes a game in only 37 games. That was 23-24. And then last year, 24-25, his role very much diminished, only 11 minutes a game with the Los Angeles Clippers. 7.2 points, though. That's a lot in just 11 minutes. That's impressive. But only 20 games. 3-point percentage was 38.8, so I'm not sure why they kind of gave up on him or what the hell. Came to Minnesota, played 4 games of garbage time, basically. So we'll see. Bones Highland, I think, is a guy that can play in this league. So looking forward to what Bones Highland can do and playing hopefully a bigger role than garbage time on occasion. So I think there's more to him than that, honestly. Born in 2000, so right around Anthony Edwards' age. First round pick in 2021, 26th overall by the Denver Nuggets, Tim Connolly at the time. A very familiar name with the Wolves. Again, opting into this year, of course, and maybe we'll see some kind of extension to his contract hopefully soon. He did get the owners he wanted, so, hopefully. The place a lot of people were afraid he might have left for like last year or something. Was it last summer or so? The Washington Wizards had hired their new president of basketball there, Pobo as we like to call him. So that potential loss is gone, so we don't have to worry about that happening. So welcome to the Wolves once again, Bones Highland. Hopefully he can have a bigger role with the Timberwolves. There's still rumors about a possible bringing in Brogdon. The guy can definitely play in this league. He's in his 30s though, his early 30s, veteran. So we'll see. I gotta think Rob Dillingham needs to be turned loose here at some point. I would hope. Enrique Freeman recently at the beginning of August, and Johnny Juzang signed offer sheets with the Wolves apparently. So it's like an offer sheet. Interesting. 2-way contract for Enrique Freeman. I don't think he's played a game in the league yet. He's played a couple games. My bad. 22 games, 8 minutes, 2 points. This is Enrique Freeman. He's a power forward. July 29th. That sounds awfully familiar. Enrique. Wow. 21 years after this Joey Awajan guy. The host of Timberwolves Explosion. So, yeah. I wasn't quite doing TE yet at that stage. Podcasts actually didn't exist until about 2001, 2002, I think. So it'd be amazing to hear what a podcast was like around then. MP3s existed then, though, so I don't imagine the audio was that bad. And I would like to improve the audio on these shows. It's not the microphone's fault, it's everything around its fault, the way I have things set up or lack thereof, and I apologize for that over the years. He was a second-round pick, 20th, by the Pacers in 24, so Enrique is pretty young, for the most part, 6'7", kind of a tough guy, I guess you could say. Jesse Edwards was waived. on the 17th of August. Johnny Juzang, though, has played a role in the NBA in Utah, particularly 6'5" shooting guard type, kind of a swingman. 226 though, kind of bulky. March 17th, kind of close to Paul's birthday, also known as, but this was also St. Patrick's Day in 2001, not 2021, from Los Angeles, California, and he played for UCLA. So, yeah, interesting. The last 3 years with the Utah Jazz. He was a first round pick? No, he was undrafted. There's no information. Yeah, undrafted, but pretty good. Rotation player, a terrible team and all that, but rotation player, 18 games in 22-23, so probably back and forth as a minor league affiliate. In 23-24, 20 games. In his first year, 4.8 points. His next year, 7.2. The rebounding numbers are kind of like hanging around 2 rebounds a game. And then last year, a bit of a semi-breakout. And, of course, we're not really looking at rebounds necessarily with a shooting guard, but it's interesting to look at, I suppose. Still managed to get an assist a game in rotation-type minutes, too, again. So 13 minutes in his first year. 18 and a half in his second, and last year just under 20 minutes a game in 64 games. So very much rotation player for the Jazz. About 9 points a game. Didn't get too much into foul trouble either. About 3 rebounds and an assist. 37.6 a game, or 37.63 point percentage last year. The year before it was 41.6, a small sample size of just 20 games. But pretty good. 85% at the free throw line versus 71 his second year, his rookie year. He only averaged 50%, but he barely shot the ball at all in his rookie year. Didn't really get the ball when he was out there, and he shot like dog poop. But after that, his overall field goal percentage improved to 46 his second year, and last year about 43. Again, that's his field goal percentage in general. But three-point percentage is pretty respectable. After a crappy first year where he was missing a lot of stuff and probably facing a defense that he hadn't faced before in the NBA. So since then, he's averaged probably close to about 39%. From downtown, or three-point range, basically. It's not bad. Steals and blocks, not a whole lot to talk about there, unfortunately. Maybe a good on-ball defender, but not like really getting the blocks and steals. I'm guessing he's an average to below-average defender. Again, so I don't have a whole lot of film to break down necessarily on Johnny Juzang, but it's an interesting signing. So we'll see. He's got a chance to be with the Wolves. So interesting. On August the 1st, he played significant minutes. Again, the Jazz were a terrible team and everything, but I think there's something there. It's interesting. It's an offer sheet type of deal. So whatever that means, basically. It's just signed. It's signed / offer sheet. So it's signed. I don't mean offer sheet. It's just like it could be one or the other, but he was signed with the Wolves. So interesting. It's like a 1-year type of, probably non-guaranteed type of thing. So from what I know, in the, 100,000s, which is nice. I'm not sure why they're saying Barringer was signed, Barringer was signed on the 7th and on the 8th. We signed him? Okay, yeah, but we signed him again. Sure you did. You did something like that. Yeah, Minot's is he on the Celtics now? And they could certainly use help with the injuries there. Kind of an important guy, went down to the Achilles. Yeah. Not, he'll only be out like about maybe a year and a half, 2 years. In the NBA, how they prolong those type of things. But that's kind of your transactions when it comes to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now some other kind of nonsense type of stuff, some skullduggery. And remember, I was kind of annoyed with how Garnett was talking trash to Glenn Taylor. Just, talking just dumb. I don't like all that stuff. He wrote your paycheck, He was never cheap with you. So it's like, what the hell? And they pretty much bent over backwards to sign all the players Garnett wanted. That's kind of my beef with Garnett, like to talk all this stuff when they signed pretty much everybody you wanted when it came to like all these, all your guys. Yeah, maybe they didn't do a good job like actually building the organization, but I don't know. When they had to keep like Troy Hudson and Trenton Hassel, it's kind of hard to build around guys like that when their salary is higher than it probably should be for what they're bringing. Now this other guy, the other Kevin, not Kevin Harlan, Kevin Love. Interesting. Story by Basketball Network. When Kevin Love clapped back at the Minnesota owner for disrespecting him after getting traded to Cleveland, I think emotions are definitely running high right now. Interesting. This is Arjun Jolka. Arjun Jolka, thank you. Kevin Love and the Timberwolves have had a complex relationship over the years, but he hasn't been here in like a decade. So la-di-da. It was 11 years ago, 2014. Excuse me, sorry. During a six-season stint with the Wolves that drafted him, he achieved several notable feats, including All-Star and All-NBA selections, known for his elite rebounding and the ability to dominate in the paint and da-da-da. So, yeah, he had kind of a googly eyed type of game. He was a smart, solid player and 30-20s and such, so we appreciated what he was able to accomplish. He was traded again to that 2014 Cavs team and helped them get to the NBA Finals by, helped the Cavs get to the NBA Finals. The Wolves got Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett in return. Bennett was pretty much unfortunate, like a no-show in a lot of ways. It was too bad. I thought he could have been better. I thought there was something there, but man, what a terrible first overall pick. I mean, ouch. LeBron James, Kyrie Irving. It was a nice team, and in 2016 they put a 73-win arrogant Warriors team in their place, and man, that was one of the most satisfying basketball games I've ever watched. That was freaking awesome. The 2016 NBA Finals. Oh, man. That's how arrogant those sons of biscuits were, especially the first two games when they blew the crap out of the Cavs. Cavs blew the crap out of them in Game 3. Game 4 was very disappointing. The Cavs just weren't up to the task. And then funny stuff started happening. Yeah, the Cavs started changing the story quite a bit. It was awesome. Anyhow, what are we going with? The trade had clearly irked Wolves owner Glenn Taylor, who went public with his critical analysis of Love, claiming he would not fit in his new setting with Cleveland. Interesting. After multiple instances of his public remarks against him, Love finally decided to clap back. So is this now? That's kind of weird. I wonder why they're bringing this up now. Or did this recently happen? I mean, the article is September 5th. Again, happy birthday on September 5th to Marcus the Forecaster, of course, in case he's listening. Or anybody related to Marcus the Forecaster. Obviously a great guy. Obviously. And in the summertime, I always listen back to our old episodes, like especially State of the Timberwolves 2010. I mean, we sound so much younger. And that was so fun. I mean, again, this is the second oldest standing podcast in Minnesota. Yeah. Anyhow, Kevin Love said, I think emotions are definitely running high right now for Glenn to say that. I just think that he should be focusing on the players that he just received. So this was back then. Why are they bringing this? I don't know. I mean, yep, everyone says I mean. I mean, he has two of the number one picks the last two drafts, Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett. He has another guy who can really play in Thaddeus Young. Okay, I guess he could. He couldn't rebound, though, for a guy of his size. It was annoying. So Love said that. Who had never made the playoffs until that. With the Cavs going to the finals instead of just making the playoffs. Anyhow, Love says, I think he got a lot for me. So I'd be focusing even more on that more than anything. I'm just excited to start my time in Cleveland, to get to work with my new teammates and start with this new family here. Love added he looked to embark on a new journey with the Cavs. Why? I don't know. I wonder what this is bringing up, or is it just looking at the past? So, yep, Love, yeah. I mean, Love didn't handle things all that great. It rubbed Glenn Taylor the wrong way. Took it a little personal. Interesting. Taylor, I think where maybe he got away with some stuff, not playing defense on our team. I'm not sure that's going to work in Cleveland, Taylor said. Woo! I question, Kevin, if this is going to be the best deal for him, because I think he's going to be the third player on the team. I don't think he's going to get a lot of credit if they do really well. I think he'll get blamed if they don't do well. He's around a couple guys that are awful good. Taylor continued raising concerns about his long-term durability. Like, Love's always hurt? Yeah, that was annoying. Taylor went a little too far with his bitterness over the situation. He overlooked Love's contributions to the Wolves and what he meant to the fans, as he was the team's lone bright spot for years. So this is kind of like a look back, I guess. Yep, now there were the early tensions with LeBron. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. So, well, I guess, I don't know. I guess it's some kind of look back, but I suppose, I don't know. I don't know what I guess it's just, people kind of going on, talking about history, and that's okay. When Kevin Love clapped back to the Wolves owner for disrespecting him after getting traded, that was interesting. But I mean, it's cool to kind of look back on it, but it's not like the 10-year anniversary. This is an 11-year anniversary, basically around then. It was kind of later in the summer. I still remember where I was. I was at Cedar Lake when the news popped. Ooh, it happened. We did get Andrew Wiggins because there was all that Wiggins watch that summer in 2014. I was sitting at Cedar Lake, Point Beach. I was swimming a little bit, and there it was. So that was kind of a cool thing. So I still remember when the trade thinking that Andrew Wiggins was going to be this legend that was going to turn the Wolves around. Well, Anthony Edwards ended up being that guy instead years later. So thank God it eventually came around, and we did get Karl Anthony Towns the next draft, #1 overall pick. The team was promising for a minute, but I think the real turnaround happened when Andrew and Anthony Edwards got here at the end of the day. So that's kind of a catch-up, and then I guess a look back, and Kevin Love. I don't know why I don't know. I mean, I guess it's okay to look at some of that, some past history and such, I suppose. Oh, yeah, another stupid thing here. I don't know. Julius Randle says quitting weed, improved his mental health after the Knicks trade. Yeah, I mean, and then there's that weird Kawhi Leonard stuff going around. I guess what did they like? It was kind of illegally giving him extra money, I guess, on the side with some kind of deal with some kind of deal with some other companies that added up to about $50 million. So, $28 million for a fake job with the tree company, so the Clippers could cheat the salary cap. Yeah, see, that way, Kawhi was able to get the money he wanted and sign for a cheaper contract under the salary cap. So it's kind of circumventing the cap, which is interesting. Kawhi Leonard with the Clippers, and really that never has worked out at all. I mean, the guy can't stay healthy for his life. The Clippers traded 17,000 draft picks to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who, they got their first title of how many, I don't know. It's like the Cowboys and Herschel Walker. It's starting to look like that. Oh my God, we got Paul George. Ugh! Yeah, so what? The guy can't stay healthy either. It's kind of like a Herschel Walker thing. It's a Herschel Walker trade in the NBA. And then I guess the OKC Thunder might be the Dallas Cowboys. 3 championships or something, but hopefully the Wolves can say something about that. I freaking hope so. But, I mean, it's like Herschel Walker and Herschel Walker. I don't know. And Herschel Walker and then maybe an injury-prone quarterback, which it's just imagine because Kawhi's a bigger star than Paul George was, is, whatever. I don't even consider either one of them I consider Kawhi a star when he actually freaking plays. Paul George, I think he's just a good player now. I can't consider him a star anymore. And, I mean, and Paul George was pretty freaking good with OKC, to be fair. He had some amazing numbers there. But, my God, what the Clippers gave up for him was, dumb. Just dumb. Anyhow, so that's the other conversation, with the kind of circumventing the cap and such there with the Clippers. Julius Randle quit smoking weed. That's nice. I mean, I'm glad. Me, personally, I'm not a fan of weed. I'm not. I don't like I don't like the way people... I don't like the lifestyle and all that. I'm not going to get too far into it. Me personally, I'll pass. And I don't know. I don't really want to be around all that. I just don't. So, me personally, I'll pass. Julius Randle, what was he talking about? He quit and it helped his mental health. So, and it probably did. I mean, it sharpened his focus and improved his mental health. This is my opinion. What? Just that little phrase there, that little part of that little sentence there. That's all you need to know. That's how I look at it. That's my opinion. There you go. That's all you need to know about my opinion of weed. Yep. I mean, seriously. Quote from Julius Randle, it's definitely tough in today's world. Randle said at the 28-minute mark in the video above. Yeah, because it's long. So thank you for breaking that down for us. Who wrote the article? Mark Ellibert. Thank you, Mark, for breaking that down for us. I appreciate it. I'm serious. Okay. It's definitely tough in today's world, Randall said, basically. I think it's so important to have a clear mind and being able to be strong mentally without anything influencing you as far as a substance or a voice or whatever. Being able to sort your own thoughts out. Again, yes. Yes. Let's just say it's affected somebody close to a family member, and yeah, it's affecting the family member more than the person that's doing it, if you know what I mean. It's not working out well, and I won't say who it is. Randall admitted that smoking weed often pulled him away from reality, making him less present with those closest to him. That's all you need to know. That's pretty much what happened to a very close family member when we'll just say his spouse. Okay, that's pretty much giving up too much almost, but yeah, his spouse. Yeah, it's not been good. It made me distant and not present. I just kind of be in my own world, and I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like, this is what it is. My wife would be like, no, you're just not present. See? We're having a conversation, and you're not really present. See? Thank you, Julius. I respect Julius Randle for bringing this up. I really do. I really respect Julius Randle. Now watch, I'm going to get more unfollows, but at least I'm not ripping Kevin Garnett anymore, right? For Randle, leaving marijuana behind after his trade to Minnesota pivotal, the forward became an integral part of the Timberwolves' deep playoff run in 2025, silencing doubts about whether he would fit in the roster. Yeah, he did wonderful. And I think he did have a nice season with the Wolves. Maybe like at the beginning, he was kind of overcoming like like a withdrawal, like he was missing it maybe a little bit. He was, or just kind of reality was sinking in. That type of thing. Maybe like he had aches and pains in places he didn't before. Who knows? But I don't know. Yeah, they're saying how the NBA no longer tests players for marijuana, and many stars across the league openly use it. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't like that. In 23, Kevin Durant said everybody in the NBA is indulging in cannabis. And he was one of the many players who pushed for NBA Commissioner Adam Silver to remove the drug from his banned list. Yeah. Anyhow, he says, it's the NBA, man. Everybody does it, to be honest. It's like wine at this point. I don't think so. But again, alcohol abuse is a big problem, too. Look at Doug West. God bless him. I'd love to have him on the show someday, honestly. But if I ever put in the effort to get some plebeian guests on the show. But, and even like a dear friend like Vince Germano, who has great basketball knowledge, Anyhow, Durant said, I just enjoy the plant. It's as simple as that. And that was in 23. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. I like what Julius Randle said. I appreciate the honesty. Other people are probably laughing and thinking that's dumb and BS. No, I agree with Julius Randle because it's affecting a family member with their, his spouse. It's a fact, and it's not been good. So, there, I've said it a lot. It's affecting a family member. Again, not going to tell you who it is, but then again, it's not like they're probably listening anyway. With all of that said, I think I hope I haven't lost all three of you that are remaining by agreeing with Julius Randle that actually quitting is a good thing. It's a good thing, dang it. So I agree with him, and I appreciate the honesty. I really do. I really do. With all of that said, I hope this is a nice catch-up for you, and I'm very optimistic going into the season. Rocco Zarkowski, I don't expect him to be a factor right away. He's extremely young. Baron J, it sounds like he's going to, there's going to be a chance. We're going to see something, I think, pretty early. Like, we may have, like, a Garnett type of a guy. We just might. There just might be a little bit of Garnett type of a vibe with Baron J coming in. So it's extremely exciting as a Timberwolves fan to have him. What a great draft pick, potentially. Wolves definitely tried to trade up to get him, and ultimately they didn't have to. So freaking cool that the Wolves were able to get him, that he just simply fell to the Wolves, as there's definitely some honesty and some conversation out there that the Wolves absolutely tried to move up to get him, but he fell to the Wolves anyway. So totally cool. With all of that said, thank you so much for listening. I don't think there's any fan interaction. I should probably check just in case. Now this thing is spinning around. The spinning thing, the whole spinning wheel deal. It's freaking awesome. So I'll check just in case. Of course, you can get in touch with the Wolves, your Twitter, X, whatever it's called, at TWolvesEX, Facebook.com/Timberwolves Explosion, and on Instagram, it's Timberwolves_Explosion on Instagram. Okay, I already pressed the button like 50 times. the heck am I doing? So I'm just staring at the screen. It's like it's already there. And now I'm getting the spinning wheel. Oh, Lord. We're going to have to maybe change on the fly here. Jiminy Christmas. Don't you love that? Okay. I think that's it. Yeah, okay. The other thing, the Wolves are playing on Christmas. Yes. Wolves and Nuggets. So it is I think it's not the last game. I think it's the second last game. Yeah, Rockets-Lakers is the latest, I do believe, because it's in Los Angeles, California. Mavs Warriors. One of those is later. I think the Wolves are probably in the middle. Yeah, Spurs Thunder. Yep, I think the Wolves are the third game, if I remember correctly. Sam followed me. Thank you, Sam. Yep, cool. Thanks, Sam, for following, just in case you're listening. Hopefully you're a listener. Jeff Munich, he followed me? All right, Jeff, thank you. But I suppose he's following lots of people, but thank you, Jeff. That's terrific. I appreciate that, just in case. I think, there was a time he was listening to the show. But we're talking like a decade plus ago, so it's not like yesterday. But maybe he was. And I do believe... Okay, these were not on the last episode. I think the last episode came out in like July 4th or something, if I remember correctly. Let me just verify that. But I do believe we have a couple of comments here coming up from Vince and Tanae, two of the absolute greatest ever when it comes to, supporters of this show. You guys are the absolute pillars. Yes, July 5th. Okay, so just make sure there's even anything below that. Yeah, mostly likes and stuff. Like your repost, are we serious? What was I saying? Oh, yeah, that we signed Mr. Okay, this is Jade McDaniel's code. Are we serious? And then I reposted it. Yeah, why are we bringing back... Why are we bringing back Joe Ingles? Yeah, well, I guess. Anyhow, Vince Germano at Vinrock44. Yep, and said Rocco's ready. This is Timberwolves. Of course, I retweeted, I do believe. And then Vince said, yep, he was saying, I said, fans gotta be patient. Old mate will keep working hard, but please be patient. Yeah. Yep, please be patient. Yep, I agree with that. Yep, Rocco, just be patient on Rocco Zarkowski, and I think it could have something here. Did I say Zarkowski? I don't know what I said, but Rocco will be ready. Yeah, I'm probably saying it wrong. Tanae Brown. Yes, I agree with this 1,000,000%. He's responding to John Krasinski and then including me in it, so it's like, yeah, this is to kind of get on the show here. Wow, lots of views here. Dang, popular post. Whew. Yeah, today, nice, man. Almost 3,000 there. John Krasinski, that's also known as Johnny Athletic. Alex Rodriguez on a potential Wolves rebrand. We've done a lot of work in the background. It'll be interesting, yeah. And they have to do a rebrand, by the way. The logo sucks. The uniforms suck. I don't like the current logo or uniforms. I don't. I'm not a fan. And Marcus the Forecaster will tell you that as well. That he is really not a fan. Like, he hated it the first second. And I was like, yeah, I agree with you. Anyhow, continuing with what Alex Rodriguez says, I think our fan base is going to be very, very excited. Bringing back some of the history of the KG days is something we're very aware is important to our fan base. Yeah, one thing, though, and I don't understand you guys out there, and I know it's probably the majority, and that's why they did it. The black ones, why not the blue ones? With the tree, like the tree uniforms, like, what was it, started about 96, 97, right, when Marbury was a rookie, during that second year in the league when those first came out. And then they brought out black ones. I think it was around, I don't know, was it 99, 2000, 2001, around there? They had the black ones. I don't think Marbury ever wore a black jersey with the Wolves because he'd already been traded. I think it was after. I don't like those. They were like the third uniforms. I like the blue ones more. I'm on the blue side. Blue. So like there was the home whites. It's like a royal blue, I think. Kind of like a royal blue, pretty much. Similar to the Orlando Magic in the actual blue. And then black. We're not the Spurs. We're the Timberwolves, damn it. That's why I always thought. Like, we look just like the Spurs practically with, like, trees. That's why I didn't like about the black ones yet. Fine, they brought the bleeping black ones back. So, okay, that's part of it. Tanae said something that I strongly prefer. I hope they bring back the original uniforms. Watch them bring back those ridiculous T-shirt ones instead, though. Haha. Oh, God, yeah, that would be terrible. I hope not. Yeah, that's the ones in like the Kevin Love era, I think, is what Tanae is saying. Tanae, of course, is from New Zealand. That'd be awful. No, 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 no. Like the Kevin Love era? No, I'll pass on those. Those sucked. The current ones suck. The KG era ones were pretty good. At the time, I thought they were the best, but the originals, I think, in hindsight, were the best for sure. Especially the Blues. It's not because we want to remember Christian Laettner and Isaiah Ryder. Anthony Edwards looks pretty good in that uniform, you know? Berenger would look pretty good in it, you know? And you know how the guy, yeah, like a lot of guys wear those, like, you know, obviously, you know, like the current stars. I don't know if Julius Randle ever got to wear that. I don't know if they, did we wear the originals last year for a little bit? It'd be nice if they wore them like more, like, or it became like the logo again, or like a modernized version. Or even just bring back the original logo, kind of like the Jazz did, in a lot of ways. It kind of brought back the classic Jazz look, maybe with a teeny bit of modernizing. But I think that'd be cool. I would totally get rid of this circle logo crap. It looks just like the Washington Wizards. And you know why it looks like the Washington Wizards? Because the same company did the Wizards and the Wolves. And they did basically, it's the same design with just a different color. And then, you know, like a Timberwolf instead of like a basketball. Yay. So I'm passing on that. Like hard pass, tight time to move. Unfortunately, it might be a year after next when it comes to the actual major rebrand. So we'll have to wait and see for that. Thank you so much, Danae. That was awesome. So I've mentioned the contact details a bit another way. PaladinoLive@yahoo.com if you want to send an audio submission, or PaladinoLive@gmail.com. So it'd be great to hear from you if you'd like to send in an audio submission. Danae, Vince, or anybody out there that has never sent one that would like to send one. That'd be awesome. That really would. So with all of that said, thank you so much. I'd love to hear from many of you from Australia, New Zealand, and locally. Where are you, local people? Like I know. Where are you? I mean, it still does say that there are probably the slight majority is actually people from Minnesota, but I never hear from any of you, hardly ever. Maybe on Twitter a little bit, but Aussies, and you know, New Zealanders. God, I love you so much. I love you so much. So keep coming. Hope to hear from you, and God bless all of you. Go Timberwolves. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun season coming up.